Hi, thank you for your question. For those who don't know, my name's MJ. I'm a trans man. I've had top surgery. I was on hormones for years. Unfortunately, my liver started to fail on testosterone, so I had to discontinue and I detransitioned for a short period. So in the past, when I've answered this question, I've just given you guys like kinda present day insight on why I detransitioned and what the process was, what I went through, etc. This time, I'm gonna show you like a deep dive into when I detransitioned because just like now, I recorded pretty much every aspect of my life. Now, I don't consider myself detransitioned now. I haven't been on hormones in a long time, but I identify as male. I don't pass, but I consider myself male. But I'm gonna be showing you guys footage that I don't think I've ever showed on here from when I detransitioned and also just like general documentation of my journey. As you will see in the videos, because I'm definitely not my happy, outgoing self that I usually am. It was a very hard time. I was very angry and I felt very alone. For that reason, it's hard to talk about sometimes, so I'll probably set a boundary and for a little while after this, stop talking about my detransition. I'm so glad that this was asked though, because I know, I'm almost positive there's probably another trans man out there who's dealing with medical issues on testosterone, feeling alone like I did, not knowing what to do, and I'm so glad that they can see my story and know that I ended up okay. So even if I'm going to step back from talking about this subject for a little, just for my own mental health, I'm very glad you asked this, and I thank you for the opportunity. So when I first detransitioned, I didn't have like TikTok or anything. I think it was Musically back then, if it even existed. I don't know. But I was kind of big on Instagram, and so this is my initial post I found that I posted. When I made the decision to detransition, it says, "Hi everybody. I figured I'd write a note about what is going on in case anyone is from my Uncle Festa page. If you've been following my transition for a while, you know that a little over a year ago I found out that testosterone was impacting my liver. For the next year, my doctors and I tried adjusting my dose and even taking a 3-month break, only to find out that it was still impacting my liver about 1.5 months ago. After discontinuing, I tried to maintain a male identity for a short time, even though the drastic feminization of my features caused me not to pass at all. This became extraordinarily awkward in bathroom and locker situations within the first 2 months of discontinuing testosterone, I lost 18 pounds of muscle mass. That is true, though it was insane how much weight I dropped, how much muscle mass I dropped so quickly. The changes reverted much quicker than I even thought. After thinking it through for an extended period, I made the decision to detransition. Although I will have to follow up closely with a professional support system, I meant in terms of like my dysphoria and stuff, I feel as though it is much healthier and safer than putting myself in dangerous situations and disheartening situations where I will not pass. This decision was made a few weeks ago, and I am actually doing much better than expected. You don't have to worry about me. I have gone through much worse, that's true. But if you were wondering what the deal is, now you know. Thank you to all who have remained supportive. Looking back, I'm not sure if I agree that my changes reverted a lot. I think a big part of it is that T really didn't do a super lot for me, except for my voice. Even if my voice still kind of high, it has deepened drastically from pre-transition. But hold on. This is how I looked like shortly before I detransitioned. So I did have to fill in my beard and stuff, but I had been growing it out a long time. I was, at a point where I was passing. I had to work for it, but I still passed. So to think of like all of that reverting, it was terrifying. When I see the next video, I totally get my frustration in the video, but I just think it shows such a stark contrast, because, I'm a very, extroverted, understanding person, and not that I don't think people should have boundaries, but I just think in the next video I'm gonna show you, there's just a big difference in my demeanor now and then, and you can really see that it reflects, how unhappy I was. I don't know. I feel frustrated because, part of me is I should make a video addressing everything, just so people shut the hell up. But another part of me is what the hell is the point? Because then it gets lost. Half of you don't watch it. I still get all the questions. And when I say those things, I'm not talking about people that ask, really respectful things like what pronouns now, or, I don't know, if you've known me a long time, my best friends, Obviously, I expect them to ask questions. Obviously, I expect family to ask questions. But, like, if you've never spoken a word to me in your life, like, stay in your lane. Like, this isn't your place. Like, just shut up. So yeah, like, as I said, I totally understand my frustration. I understand why I felt the need to put strict boundaries in place. I really feel like there is a vast difference between, who you see on camera now and, me then. I have more from that video I can show. Hold on. Like, where do you get off, like, coming at me, like one girl was asking me, like, well, why do you have to be so feminine? Why this? Why that? Like, if you've never even had the experience, like, you have no place to talk. Like, you just shut up. I would never feel entitled to know any aspect of someone's life, even like people that I'm close to, never mind somebody that I've never spoken to. So that's why I get so frustrated when I get questions over and over and over. I haven't had my Instagram with 50,000 followers in a long time. I deleted it even before I detransitioned. I just felt like that was a chapter I kind of wanted to close. And so those who have found me from when I did have that page, I still want to stay in touch with some people, but it's like, just respect certain boundaries, I don't know. It's just frustrating sometimes, I guess. I don't know. MJ. The second thing, my tattoos. Are you going to cover your tattoos? Probably not. I don't really care. I love my tattoos. I think that they represent an important part of my life. I mean, I have King. I have the number on my hand of when I transitioned. One thing I just want to highlight is this statement. Like, for one, I mean, if you're not even trans, like, where do you get off, like, coming at me? I wanted to emphasize that statement because not once during my detransition did I not view myself as trans. I felt like detransitioning was something that I had to do. In fact, like, everybody knew, because I was very honest with everybody, like, listen, if there becomes a way where I can transition and live as male and, like, pass as male without hormones, I'm gonna take it. Even when my husband and I had, like, an off point, like, before we were officially together, and I was dating, like, I was honest to everybody I spoke to, like, listen, hey, if I thought it was going anywhere, I'll let them know. Like, if there is an option for me to transition, I'm taking it. So if you can't see yourself with a dude, skedaddle. Obviously, that did not keep a lot of people around, but since I had already found my soulmate in the other room, it was fine. So I've detransitioned actually twice in my life, if you think about it, really. I actually have this album in my phone. It's called First Attempt at Transitioning. In these pictures, I was like 16 to 17 years old. I started presenting masculine. I think most people just thought I was a masculine lesbian. And I let them think that, but I did towards the end start like adopting like, male pronouns and stuff like that. And it didn't go over super well because you gotta remember this was like, God, what, like 17 years ago maybe, because I'm 33 and this was back when I was like 16, 17, a long time ago. But I ended up transitioning back. I honestly don't even know how old I was here. This actually might be before the last pictures. I don't know. But I ended up transitioning back to, a feminine appearance and trying to live that way because I really struggled with religion. And honestly, in some areas it was just easier. Not mentally, but in other areas it was easier. So a lot of people will ask me, like, do you think you'll ever detransition again? And my answer is probably. I mean, I'd love to say, no way, I'm so happy now, I would never do that, I would never go back. But I mean, realistically, my history shows, I'm 33 and I've detransitioned twice. Both times, I personally would not consider it a choice. Many would argue with that. That's fine. This isn't your world. This is my life. Not to the commenter. You're so sweet. I'm so sorry that wasn't to you. But the fact of the matter is, like, I live in a red state. Like, being trans has gotten in the way of me having jobs. It's gotten in the way of safety. I had my son's father, who was an addict, team up with a local church, trying to take my kid away because I'm trans. So if it comes to, like, survival, safety, my family's well-being, etc., I would take that L again and just detransition. But I'll always be back again. I forgot to add this. This was also a post from way back then. So you can pause to read. I'll leave it up for a minute. I was actually editing and then I remembered that I forgot this part. So there's more, but this is the gist.